But the 1 minute board is held up. And just waiting for the 30-second board to be held up here. So as we said then, it looks like it's going to be Dave Knockhill in pole position from Jack Gadd ahead of Piers Grange. Ashley Shelswell in 4th position. Malcolm Harding in 5th. David Mateus in 6th position. Paul Nelville alongside Gary Waite. Paul Daly with Dave Gadd 9th and 10th. 11th place for David Guthrie, 12th place for Mark Fremantle, 13th place for Alex Boehm, Dave Barrett in 14th, 15th for Mark Hardfield, 16th for Dan Cowan, Richard Sanders in 17th, Kevin Hadfield in 18th, Tony Paxman in 19th, 20th for Graham Waite, and 21st for Lloyd Jameson. There we go. That I knew I wasn't seeing things. It is going to be a green flag lap as the cars gathered onto the start line there, and then they'll get their the 2 green flag laps there. So green flag laps underway, and of course the lap out of the pit lane doesn't count for the cars here because it's a rolling start. And I knew I wasn't seeing things, but it is going to be a rolling start for these cars. So what they'll do is they'll follow a fairly orderly pace around behind the safety car, and then at which point the safety car peels off at the tri-oval and the cars are unleashed to go and do their bidding. Great view of the spectators here at Knockhill. Obviously, we're delighted to bring you the live stream, but there is no other experience like it than being here at the circuit and enjoying the sights and sounds of the cars going round for yourself. So again, for next one, if you can make it down, absolutely do make it. It's a great day out for all the family. If not, you can kick back, get a cup of coffee, get a little bit of cake, and enjoy the sights and sounds thanks to the glory of YouTube. But here we go then with the next rounds of the modified Ford series. As I said, I believe we're getting 2 green flag laps here, and you can see. So that is the view, if I'm right in saying, from the chicane down, and you can see that's the crowd that gathered the bottom of McIntyre's there. So the cars making their way over the start finish line here under the Beatson's Build and Supply Bridge, and this is when game time really kicks in for these drivers of the cars now. This is when, you know, the enjoyment factor kind of takes a second to the race itself. Now you're weaving the car, you're warming up the brakes, you're getting yourself ready. Is there any strange noises from the car, any strange smells from the car? Everything good to go, because you want to be making sure that everything is in tip-top condition. Rolling start is basically getting ready to go, and yeah, we wait with bated breath as we're watching the cars making their way through the field there. That in the sight there is the 159 car of Gary Waite in the Ford Sapphire Cosworth, another one of the 2-litre cars taking part in the modified Fords today. At the back of the grid though, the number 76, that is Kevin Hadfield's. Again, I just love that car. It just looks amazing, doesn't it? But yeah, you'd be a fool not to enjoy the sights and sounds of what really is the sort of Ford Escort and his younger, slightly more attractive younger brother, you've got to say, the newer Ford Escort, the Cosworth. Yeah, it is a bit of a look at a bit of a classic of all time beside the Mark 1 RSR. I tell you what, the Zack Speed Mark II though, that is a proper bit of kit as well. But the car's making their way round to the hairpin then to get ready for this rolling start as we get ready to go live. Safety car is going to pop its lights off very, very shortly. You can see there on the right-hand side, the 59, the Jack Gadd. On the left-hand side is Dave Cockrell. That number 95 Ford Escort Cosworth. The Fords are going to roar into life then as we get ready to go green. They effectively become the safety car as we go sort of 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. There's a hole in the order there, and I think that might have been where Ashley Shelswell gets going. Lights are on. As soon as they go, we are racing again here at Knockhill, and that's a fantastic start from David Mateus on the right-hand side there, making his way up here, but it's down to Duff Step for the first time of asking for the final of the modified Ford races here at Knockhill. Great start there from Dave Cockle there. Jack Gadd still into second place there. You can see Piers Grange holding on to that third position, but look at Malcolm Harding moving up into fourth place there, ahead of Paul Neville in that fifth place Escort Mark II right now. You can see number 87 making its way in 37 of Paul Daly in the Ford Focus as well, and that is a position gained for Kevin Hadfield. Oh, and there's contact again. That's a huge moment there for the number 56 Piers Grange. Very little contact to that car. Driver's going to be absolutely fine other than a change of underwear needed for him, but that was a huge scary moment into Clark's there, as that is a big dive up the inside for Malcolm Harding there. That would have been contact, I would imagine, with surely that's going to have to have been Malcolm Harding that's been involved there. I didn't quite catch the car that spun that one of Piers Grange around there, but that's the second time we've seen two cars just trying to keep their foot in on the exit of a corner, and the only outcome is one car is going to be sent off into the gravel. Thankfully, no damage caused to that car from what I could see there. Very minor dent to the back end of that car, and he'll be able to get going again. But talking of getting going, Dave Cockle has get going and get gone. He is a way out in front there. That's got to be at least 2.5 seconds out ahead of Jack Gadd there. And have a look at the 87 there. That is David Mateus just flying by what looked like the number 33 there of Paul Neville, like he wasn't even on the same racetrack there. That was absurd acceleration out of the corner there from the Escort there. But it's still Dave Cockle from Jack Gadd, from Malcolm Harding in third position there. David Mateus in fourth there. Paul Neville down into fifth position here. Up through the chicane then onto lap number 3 goes Dave Cockle. And that car looks very planted indeed. He knows exactly what he needs to do with this race today, with this final race of the afternoon. A little bit of oversteer, a little bit of slide out of the corner from Jack Gadd there in that Mark 1 RSR. But look at the Mark 2 Zack Speed machine of Malcolm Harding in that 101. His last lap there was a 55.004, so he's not actually catching these two up in front. But my goodness me, what a race we've got on our hands here. And the 159 of Gary Waite down in 6th position, trying to catch on to the back of Paul Neville there. Interesting to see, I think Piers Grange actually off into the pits there. Certainly not come round to complete that first lap there, so that would make sense if he is into the pit lane. Richard Sanders being shown now in that 16th position, but there is Dave Cockle, light years ahead of the rest of the field, 2.3 seconds ahead of Jack Gadd there, coming out of Clark Corner there. This is your race leader that we're watching just now, down on the entry into the hairpin. And what a brilliant shot that is there. That was Jack Gadd coming through the shot there. That's Malcolm Harding. There is David Matthias, and that is Paul Neville with Gary Waite just behind him. Paul Daly actually in that Ford Focus, he is making big moves as well in 7th position there. But this really gives you an idea of just how hard these cars are pushing it round this circuit here at Knockhill. Dave Cockle though, 54.175 on that last lap round there. That was 0.6 of a second faster than Jack Gadd, and an entire second faster than Malcolm Harding in third place there. As you see, I'm not gonna lie, I'm loving seeing the Ford Pumas again. That is great to see Kevin and Mark Hadfield out there towards the back of the grid there. That's the exit of Clark Corner there. That's third place. We just saw Jack Gadd there going through the shot there, and just through the bottom there. And Dave Cockle though already 3 seconds ahead of the rest of the field just now. Coming under the Bateson's Building Supply Bridge there, and you can see that thing is off like a rocket ship just now. Down through the hill at Duffus Dip then, and onto the brakes into McIntyre's. Again, that gap, he's maintaining the gap. It was a personal best last time round for Jack Gadd in second place there, Malcolm Harding in third. Let's give you an update on the classes, because this is a class-based championship based on the performance of the cars and the weight of the cars. Dave Cockle in the lead of Class A. In the lead of Class B is David Guthrie in the Ford Fiesta. He's down in P9 on the road. Class B Plus is going to be Malcolm Harding in the 101, as we see the 95 onto the insides of the 21. That is not a battle for position, because obviously that's Dave Cockrell put my beloved Ford Puma a lap down there, and quite honestly make it look like very, very easy work indeed. Across the line to start lap number 6 then comes Dave Cockle. Just behind though actually is Jack Gadd. That gap has come down, believe it or not, from 2.6 seconds to 1.833. So the gap between first and second place is definitely starting to come down. Now that might be to do with the traffic that they're having to navigate at this late stage of the race. Well, I say late stage, it's 6 minutes into a 15-minute race here. Again, making it look so very, very simple is Dave Cockrell in that Ford Escort Cosworth 2.2 litre engine in the helm of that machine as well, and he's been chased down by a slightly bigger engine of Jack Gadd and 2.6 litre Ford Escort Mark 1 RSR. And I've got to be honest, that little Ford Fiesta that's out there looking like it's out of place on the racetrack here. You've got these big bad Escorts out there, and then you've got that little Ford Fiesta Mark 4 sitting out there. I believe that's Dave Barrett that's out there, although that might be the 124 of Alex Bowman said. We'll get an idea on that very, very shortly. But Dave Cockle goes to knock off another lap. In fact, there we go. There is the Ford Fiesta right there. That is the number 13 of Dave Barrett. So get used to that, ladies and gentlemen. That is about the only time on this live stream that you're going to hear me right. We've got a car off. We've got double waved yellows at Clark Corner there. So something has definitely happened there. Now I wonder actually, is that just a byproduct? Do we still have Piers Grange off at that corner? That would be interesting to find out, because it looks like we've got green flags from the rest of it there. So we've got double waved yellows at Clark, which would seem to suggest that is the case, that it is still the car off on the inside of the circuit of Piers Grange. Would be unusual though, because I'm sure we haven't seen yellow flags at that point, certainly not double waved yellows, and it's on the exit of the corner. So I'll see if we've got any cars that are dropping down through the order. But here is your race leader then, Dave Cockle, as we go halfway through this race then. 7 minutes left to go. 58.043 was that last lap round, and again, as it can't have been that actually, because the double waved yellows have been rescinded. And oh, now actually that's a car off on the inside of Clark Corner there. So that looks like an Escort. That's David Mateus. Is that, I'm thinking that's who it is, or is that Mark? Yeah, because that's one of the newer Escorts. That looked definitely like an Escort Cosworth in the number 87 of David Mateus that was off on the inside of Clark. We could just see it on that camera shot that was looking over at Clark Corner. Definitely a car stopped on the infield there, and yep, David Mateus shown as already down several laps here. So that is horrible to see, that car just coming to a rest on the inside. We'll get another look here if we can follow Dave Cockle as he goes through the chicane there. Just on this shot here, you'll see just on the right hand side you see a car parked just on the entry there. Yep, that's David Mateus. And just over on the left hand side, so gutted to see that. However, never mind that, because there we go. There, thank you very much to our broadcast director there for getting an ID on that car there. So David Mateus pulled over to the side of the track there. You can see it just sat there in the middle of no man's land there. And yeah, great to pick that up. But devastated for David Mateus to see him retiring from the race. This is a car we haven't really seen much of. This is David Guthrie in the 2-litre Ford Fiesta making his way up to the line there. You've got the white flag flying, which means that there's well, it can't be for the last lap flag, because yeah, it'll be for a slower car on the track there. 5 minutes 20 left to go there. I was getting a little bit mixed up, unbelievably, with IndyCar and some American racing. Oh, now we've got a car off at the bottom of Duffus Dip there. Now, I just caught a flash of it there. There's a car definitely off on the inside there. We'll get an idea on who that was that went off at the bottom of the hill there. Now, was that Richard Sanders in the Fiesta ST150? Was that the number 30 that's parked at the bottom of the hill there? We can definitely see yellow flags flying there, and we saw it with the cars coming down there. And I'm wondering if that is just parked off to the left-hand side there, but we'll definitely get an idea on there. But I think, as we said, I think that is going to be Richard Sanders, as I said, the number 30 in the Ford Fiesta ST150 that is parked at the bottom of the hill. But back to your race leaders then. That gap now under 2 seconds as Dave Cockle coming under a little bit of pressure. Maybe not too much, but a little bit to make it interesting nonetheless, with Jack Gadd now under 2 seconds. And that is going to be one of the other Ford Escorts. I believe that's Dave Gadd actually, who has got Gary Waite giving him all sorts of pressure right now. That gap is very, very little between the two of them. There's the number 13 of Dave Barrett making his way around. Dave Cockle comes round to strike off another lap there. And there we go. That is a beautiful sight, isn't it? That is going to be the 101 of Malcolm Harding coming out the final corner then in that Ford Escort Mark II Zack Speed machine, 2.6 litre engine. But again, it's all very well having a massive engine, but if you can't get all that traction down, then it's not going to come to any volition whatsoever. But Dave Cockle still in the lead of this race from Jack Gadd and Malcolm Harding. Let's give you a rundown of the classes then. Dave Cockle in the lead of Class A, is going to be in Class B David Guthrie in the lead of that one. B plus is going to be Malcolm Harding in the lead. SB is going to be Jack Gadd, and then Class C is going to be Alex Bohm in the lead of that class as well. So 2 minutes 56 left to go in the race, so I make it we've got about 3 laps left to go in this race. And again, up next after this one is the Scottish C1 Cup. There is our race leader putting a second lap down on those Ford Pumas. Dave Cockle just absolutely dominant right now. 3.3 seconds is the lead over Jack Gadd, and any hope of that gap coming down has well and truly been extinguished as Jack Gadd coming to terms with trying to get past those Ford Pumas. He's done so. A little bit of smoke coming off of that car just up in front. I think that might have been was that Gary Waits that is just up in front. No, it's not. It's one of the Escorts that is just up in front of him just now. That car just not looking very, very happy with it, and in fact signalling off to the left hand side, and that is, oh, we've got a red flag. That's why. So we've got a red flag with 2 minutes left to go here, and the car's off into the pit lane. So obviously a very serious incident. We didn't get an idea of what happened, and of course checkered flag flies out as well, so the car's making a way off into pit lane there, and we'll catch our breath and we'll go on pause for a second while we figure out what has happened there. Well, what has happened as there we go, that's a car off into the gravel on the final corner then. So that is going to be one of the Fiestas. Now the question for me, is that the number 13? Is that Dave Barrett in the Fiesta Mark IV? Now that's what I'm thinking. Obviously driver out, absolutely fine. We kind of presumed that with the way that the car was looking there. Always good to see any incident that brings out a red flag that nobody's actually coming to any mischief whatsoever, but it will be for the length of time that is required to recover that car back from the grid there. So the car's making their way into the holding area. Dave Cockle then taking a win on the road. Let's bring you through the championships, the classes then. Class A goes to Dave Cockle. Class B plus goes to Malcolm Hardy. Class B is going to go to David Guthrie. And then Class SB is going to be Jack Gadd. Alex Bohm is going to take Class C honours on that one. So the cars.
Yes, absolutely, Dave. Fantastic action here in the modified Ford. You know, it's one of those ones where it's always a shame to have a race end a little bit earlier than we anticipated. But yeah, it's one of those ones where it's part of racing. Unfortunately, these things can happen. But there's the 95 of Dave Cockle there, just kind of making his way into his area. We'll get a quick chat with let's get a quick chat in a moment with Malcolm Harding in the 101 car. He's performed very, very well there. Let's get a quick chat with Malcolm. Malcolm, what's your thoughts on the weekend overall then? You must be quite happy with how things have gone.
Before, but it was the tits. It's brilliant. Sorry about that, but it was mega. It's mega. It's proper. Really good.
And is it a track that it's just one of those ones you've just got to get in behind the wheel and just try and get a feel for it?
I think just knowing where you're going is everything. Once you've learned where you're going, it's amazing. It's brilliant, really good. Well worth the 400 mile up north to draw, 500 miles. That's the only thing, it's 500 miles too far north, isn't it? But no, it's really good.
Great stuff.
Jackie's done a really good weekend.
And how's the car holding up after the couple of races? Everything kind of feel okay with things?
Yeah, I think it's probably quite hard on the car here. That's the only thing. It's very undulated, and yeah, we've had to do a bit of work on the car keeping it going. But yeah, I'm sure we have a great weekend.
Great stuff. Thanks for speaking to us there, Malcolm Harding there in the 101 car. A good weekend for him, it must be said. Tremendous weekend for that man there, Jack Gadd. Absolutely phenomenal racing from the number 59 car. Very, very strong outing throughout, and I think he'll be delighted with how things have gone for him overall. Let's have a quick chat here with the number 59 team. And you know, we've spoken throughout today just about how confidence is growing, and we're feeling faster, we're feeling better, feeling more confident. Must be really pleased with how the weekend's going overall.
Yeah, it's gone great so far. I think the tyres went off towards the end. I had a few temperature warnings, so just trying to manage a bit of a gap. So it's a bit of a different one, that one.
So what's the agenda now? Is it a case of trying to just do a quick once over of the car, make sure everything's okay, and then off to the next race?
That's us for today. Then we're back at Alton in 2 weeks' time.
So what kind of challenge does Alton present in comparison to Knockhill?
Well, Alton's got a bit more straights, hasn't it? So some of the faster cars they're not gonna do me through the bends, but on a straight line they might do.
No, good stuff. Best of luck and well done again today. Yeah, great action there throughout, and yeah, it's just one of those ones where it's been great to have the modified Fords here with us at the Scottish Motor Racing Club May meeting.